What's going on, folks? TJ Lauerman, a.k.a. That Sports Gamer here. We are back for episode 41 of Bullpen Banter. It's 41 episodes. Can you believe this? Millennium, do you know that this week was PAX East?
I do. And that was the... what was that in terms of this?
I believe I sent you... I don't know if I sent you the Bullpen Banter idea, DM. If it was from... Z Farles's basement, Z Farles's parents' basement the night before our panel, or from literally the panel, like, itself.
Yeah, I don't remember where it was from. I'm hoping you weren't performing a BM while sending the DM.
Probably.
But yeah, let's hope not that. But I do know that you sent over that DM around PAX East because you were there.
I was there. Not there this year. Next year, I'm getting back there. A lot of people, I'm very upset I was not there. But we're here, and you're Millennium, a.k.a. Chris, a.k.a. Operation Sports Community Manager, a.k.a. twitch.tv/Operation Sports.
Yes, all of those things are true.
All those. We also have
a.k.a. the Jammer of Discs.
Yeah. No, please never say that again. And we got another Chris. Snaggle J. Chris. This is so complicated with too many Chris's. What do you got? Either you got a middle name we could use?
No.
Christopher Michael Millennium?
It's definitely not Michael.
Oh, it was a good guess, though.
I mean, our handles are vastly different. You could just keep it to the handles only. That would be, pretty good.
Yeah, let's go with.
But hey, I'm just happy to be here. You can call me whatever.
All right, listen up.
I've heard that about you. Just happy to be there.
Yeah, just happy to be
exactly. Here. Yep, that's my life.
So, guys, I don't know if you saw last week. Sony San Diego did a big stream about franchise stuff, and if there's one guy I know that likes franchise stuff, it's Millennium.
Oh, I think you're wrong. It's unfortunate that you're wrong. I'm a Ultimate Team guy through and through.
You should be. It's the best mode, and it's the mode that keeps all these games afloat.
I actually agree with that. That part I agree with.
I only play MLB The Show for the challenges.
Challenge of the week?
Yeah, and I can't even win them because I'm Canadian.
The old Katwa.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of stuff to talk about today, guys. From the stream, the main thing they're trying to do this year is make franchise mode less intimidating to new players. I feel like some of this stuff has actually done it. We're going to talk about critical situations. We're going to talk about critical situations, quick manage, player quirks, a whole lot more stuff. I guess we could just wait till we get to those things to start talking about them, but what do you guys think of the stream overall? Chris, a.k.a. Millennium.
Yeah, I thought it was...
You see that? I say Chris, and he's like, it must be me. I like that. Take that initiative.
So, for me, the stream was... At first, I was like... I was hoping for a little bit more, but when I'm going over a lot of... When I went through my initial reaction after that, like, quick manage is an amazing way to play that game. Especially if you want to go through multiple seasons while still keeping control of your team in an inning to inning or batter to batter basis. I love the fact that they're making it more accessible for users that, 162 games is not a joke. Like, it is the longest season in sports gaming. So letting them get through with critical situations, which will get through them much faster, which we keep comparing to Play the Moments, but it has Play the Moments in it, but you could go 2-3 games without reaching a critical situation.
Yeah, actually, in my note, it says critical situations. It's like Play the Moments in Madden, but on a season scale rather than a game scale.
Right, exactly. Absolutely. So it's one of those things that, like, I'm very happy to see them. I know when Play the Moments came in, that was a big want of not only that team, but a lot of people said, hey, if Madden can do this, why can't I make MLB The Show faster?
Right.
So they have done what Commissioner Manfred cannot do, and that's make baseball faster.
They already had the one-pitch intentional walk. I mean, they couldn't speed it up much more than that.
Right, exactly.
Snaggle J, what were your overall thoughts before we start diving into some of this stuff?
So, I mean, I feel like I liked it more than the average person did. I mean, as we've seen with every one of these streams they've done, there's a certain amount of haters and trolls on social media afterwards. I really thought it was, for me, like a 10 out of 10 because of the simple fact that I know a lot of people want the smaller, finer points of running a franchise. And what I think these additions do is they set the table for MLB The Show 18 to start adding those smaller things. You can't add the smaller aspects of franchise until you get the bigger aspects figured out. And though that big elephant that's always been in the room, like Millennium said, is how do you get through seasons? How do you give people options to get through seasons at their own pace? Not everybody has the time to user play 162 games, but not everybody wants to give up the control by just hitting triangle to simulate through a bunch of games on your calendar. So there are people who are upset that they didn't add the minor things, that you can't set the price of a bucket of popcorn and that there's no 3-team trades. And I'm just going to be here all night and rant on no 3-team trades, but no, not really.
It's hard stuff.
But I feel like these big boulders that they have moved now will allow them to start focusing on smaller aspects for next year.
Yeah, I agree. I really like that they've added all this stuff, all these faster ways to play. I always felt like I wanted to play the 162 game season, like 162 games all the way through. And after doing that, I know that that's the most literally ridiculous thing you could possibly do. So I love that they put stuff like Quick Manage and Critical Situations in to kind of speed through some of that stuff. I feel like I've seen Quick Manage before somewhere, but I can't for the life of my put my finger on it.
MVP.
So
Yeah.
all right, let's we're gonna go slide by slide. Do this quick. Hopefully, I don't think it'll be quick, but it will be very informative, which is a good thing, right?
Informanato.
That's why we're here.
All right. First up, we can now load from the show cloud in 16. I mean, I don't know what that really means.
It's pretty much for people getting the PS4 Pro. A lot of people are going to be buying a PS4 Pro in the coming months or in between this cycle. So the issue is how do we get it from our PS4s that have our stuff to the PS4 Pro, which we may have already deleted? Well, if you can upload it to the cloud and then bring it in.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is actually going to be more for the people on PS3, if they can upload to the Show 16 cloud.
That might be another one because that was one of the other...
Yeah, that was a big thing for some of my friends the last 2 years, getting their guys over from MLB 14 and 15 into the PS4 version. So that's what I'm thinking. That's probably going to be mainly for.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
Let me just make sure there's a mic, which of course there is. Why wouldn't there be? All right, next up. We got the new franchise welcome screen. That's going to help you determine what kind of stuff you want to do. This is going to be used to kind of let you pick your settings a little bit quicker. I think in the past, this used to be all hidden behind deep into menus. So now you can just do coaching tasks, which is setting your lineups and rotations and injury management. And then you could add on the player development stuff of scouting and drafting, and then all the GM tasks and stuff. I like that they did this. I feel like I will probably... I would probably put the first two on manual and maybe leave the third one off, or at least for the majority of the season until it gets down to crunch time. I don't know. But then I also feel like I'm going to be the guy that goes in and does this stuff like one by one.
Yeah. The thing is, all of these options were options that you could put to auto in MLB The Show 16, but it is, again, in their mission of trying to streamline everything and put everything right there, they give you this right off the hop. And again, these are all things that you could change last year, but now they're right there. They're grouped into various categories. Obviously, once you leave this screen, it's not set in stone. You can go change them all afterwards. But again, anything that you can, put in front of the user and help them understand and get into the mode faster, I think is great. So yeah, I like this screen. I like this idea.
Yeah, especially stuff like, actually, I like the more fine grain after this, where I can turn off, I can auto scouting, but then I can do the actual drafting. I think that's nice.
The other thing to remember is that even though these are grouped in this screen, you can still go into the settings and do them individually once you get into the mode. They were grouped in this screen, again, to make it more accessible for doing the settings, but you do not have to do that.
Yeah, that's why I'd say you probably flip on one or two, and then if you want, just go into that other settings screen and dig down into that.
Right.
Okay. Next up, we have the option to start in spring training or the regular season. Apparently, a lot of people didn't realize that they were starting in spring training. I don't know how you pulled that one off.
Again, a lot of people, when you go into the calendar, it doesn't really differentiate besides saying March in a very small part of the corner. I could see how regular users would, but if you're in the main screen in 16, it says push square to end spring training. The other part this is going to do is roster management. If you went into spring training with a 40-man roster, it would do this really weird roster management of screwing up all your lineups. Hopefully, if you start a regular season now with lineup set, this will make it so your lineups stay set. So you don't have to do 25-man. Well, the way around that was you do 25-man rosters instead of 40-man. So your 40-man roster is actually missing 15 people when you get into franchise for all 30 teams, so it doesn't change the lineups.
Okay.
Which is not an answer. Not an answer.
Right.
No.
So what you're saying is when you start your OSFM franchise with the 40-man, you want to skip straight to regular season.
Right. Well, no, you can. That's what I'm saying. If you want the lineups now, you can skip spring training, go straight to the regular season, and hopefully that won't change your lineups. It won't do any kind of changing.
Sounds good.
Because what happened last year was if you went into spring training, which you had to do last year, you had to start in spring training, even if you ended it immediately. You started with 40 men on your roster. The computer doesn't know which 15 you wanted cut, so it would automatically cut the lowest 15 down to AAA and AA.
Yeah.
And then change your lineup because those guys might have changed. It automatically did that. Hopefully, and I don't have confirmation on this, but this is again hopefully going to regular season, you're skipping spring training, so there are no roster moves to be made. Mm-hmm. It'll just take the 25-man that's already set, and go from there.
Yeah, I always found that was a pain because, like, the way I went around it was I would always simulate to the very last day of spring training, and then you could, send down the 15 guys you wanted to and then simulate that last day, and by then the roster decisions were made. And it was kind of a pain. I really do like the option just to start at the regular season. I mean, again, I don't feel that spring training or preseason modes in any sports game adds really a whole lot of value. I mean, I might play a couple of games, of preseason or spring training, like after your first year when you have a couple of rookies and you want to get them out on the field. But again, just having the option to skip to the regular season, I feel was almost a necessity for franchise mode.
Next up, they've reorged the screens, and they've also added an acquisitions tab. Apparently, people didn't know that you could change tabs in franchise, even though it had that big L1 and R1 on top of the screen. But
right, yeah, that was one of the things they said. That was like, again, making it more available to users, to new users.
Yep. So on the homepage, pretty much it looks the same as now. You can play your next game. You can go to your calendar, see your big overall GM goals, check out your budget, your sponsorships, the missions in there, and your league updates. On the team screen, you can do your roster management stuff, your lineups, your rotation, training, morale, check out your disabled list. And on all these, if you look closely in the top right of each window, that's where you can hit square to toggle the automatic stuff on and off. Acquisitions, you can see the free agents, the transactions, your scouting, your contracts, your trades. Leagues where you see the standing, the awards, league leaders, statistics, and the top prospects, which is kind of cool. I think we'll talk about that in a minute. And then also the options, which everybody loves options. 3, go do your sounds of the show. We should record sounds of the show this year and put them out there for people.
Yeah, sure.
Let's do that.
That sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Woo! Go you! You're the best.
We want Britain
around. No one's ever gonna keep you down. What?
Leave Britain in the pen for like 6 more months.
No, not happening. Sorry.
It'll be great. So I was thinking, the best possible thing that Zach Britton could do when he comes back is to his first batter just let up a home run. And then he'd be like, man, good thing I didn't do that in the wild card game. Then we can all have a laugh, and then we can all go on with our lives. Right? Am I wrong here?
No.
I agree. All right. There's new missions in here, as we said. Franchise starter missions, which give you some more specific GM goals. They're going to reward you with stubs and XP. I mean, I'm always looking to get stubs. I don't know about you.
No, stubs are a necessity.
Are we going to start grinding GM goals next year? Is that going to be a whole new thing?
I'm sure.
This is why
I mean, why not? Why not? If we get more people into franchise mode, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Sure. I mean, I don't know what these rewards are going to be. I mean, if they're good, I'll go in here. I'll start doing some stuff.
I can't imagine they're going to be world-breaking rewards, but
Also remember, these are the starters.
Yeah.
Like this is not like this is not anything like you even see. A lot of these are bronze missions, so we might get more than that.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it'd be interesting to see. What you win the World Series in franchise mode, what the potential reward might be. Just like anything else, if they do have gold and diamond level rewards for franchise, I mean, they could be a value. I mean, diamond level missions now give 10,000 XP to 25,000 XP. So I mean, it could be worthwhile to grind away at some of these.
Yeah, I wonder if there'll be stuff for like year over year, like win 300 games in a 3-year span or something like that. So
Yeah.
there could be some cool stuff in there.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the new play game Launchpad. So this is where you can play your full game, your quick manage, your player lock, or your full game manage. Also on here, it's got the estimated times this can take you. They say for normal people, playing a full game is going to take about 45 minutes to get through it. For quick manage, it's about 5. Player lock is 10. And I forget what manage a full game was. I think it was...
it's also 45.
Yeah, it's
45.
45.
Yeah.
Why would anybody do that?
People want to manage and not play. Seriously. I mean, that's there's a bunch of guys who know how to do that, and they had to do some fixes for it. So
I'm going to tell you what. There's probably another game out there that you could get if you want to do that. Like if you just don't want to play MLB The Show, but you want to play MLB, I mean, there's stuff out there.
No. There's only one PlayStation baseball game.
Yeah. No, Super Mega Baseball 2 is going to be so legit. Next up, they show the calendar screen. We've seen the calendar screen. You see a little MLB Network stuff. Also, for minor league games, you're going to have the same launch pad. So you can do that quick manage stuff in your minor leagues and stuff. That's pretty cool. Next up, they revealed a legend, which one of us is extremely happy about, I would assume.
yes, very much so.
Jim Palmer, 1973 Hardware Series. This is the year he won the Cy Young. 94 stamina, 85 hits per 9, 80 home runs per 9. You know how super important that is. Though actually, technically, if we're actually using this card in franchise, which I assume would not be in franchise, 80 home runs per 9 would probably be pretty good.
You're simming, yeah, but like I said, but for Diamond Dynasty, this card is okay. The velo is going to be good on it, but other than that, I just don't know if it's a card I would want to use.
I don't like the walks per 9 being 54. I like a little bit more than that. Ks per 9 is a little low at 65. Though a legend with 5 pitches. I mean, that's something we didn't see much of last year.
My first initial reaction when I saw this card was expletive Jim Palmer, but just because. But then when I got looking at him, I really like the 2 breaking ball and then the 2-seam fastball combination. I mean, I know the 2-seamer is his 5th pitch, but again, I like having 2 different levels of breaking balls and then have something that tails the other way, having a changeup. And then again, if you can get that 4-seamer up there, I really do think this could be a good card. I had a lot of success personally with slider curveball guys who had something that went the other way, and they're very limited. There's not a whole lot of them that have that combination.
Yeah. And I think Tip said his curveball was pretty nasty. I mean, we only see 75 break here, but...
I mean, his curveball should be pretty nasty.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump into critical situations, which we spent my lunch break discussing. So this is a critical situation screen. You'll get this little pop-up. You'll have the options to enter the game, simulate to the end of the game, or turn off critical situations altogether. So you get to this through the calendar, if I'm not mistaken. So when you go in, you pick your sim date, and you can do critical situations. So this is going to launch you directly to this moment when you accept this. So in this instance right here, Ken Giles is on the mound. You're batting. Runners on first and second. With I believe it was 2 outs in the ninth, right? Yeah, 2 outs in the ninth. Down by 1. You need to walk it off, and if you don't, well, you lose. But if you only tie it up, you continue playing. Right? We're all in agreement on that? Or not?
Sure.
If you tie it, are you coming back to this screen, or are you
No,
continuing
you're
to play?
not. No, you keep playing. In critical situation, you keep playing.
Yeah.
Okay.
In this critical situation, because I think one of them he failed on,
Yeah.
and they kept playing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it just inserts you into the game at this point.
Yeah, I think you're just getting put in at this point. Is that what we're agreeing on? Because I feel like that's not what we agreed on today. Not that we agreed on anything today.
That was what we agreed on today.
That is, yeah. The thing is, there is a difference between the game situation, critical situations, and the statistical critical situations. There is difference there.
Okay. Here's another one. There's a tied game. No, see, this is what happened. This is the one that they failed. There was a tie game in the bottom of the ninth. They needed to walk it off with Nelson Cruz. He didn't, so he just played the 10th inning. That was the one he failed. What else we got here? This one, you got a 1-run lead. You got your closer in, and you got to save it. I think they said... Did they say how many different types of situations there were? I don't believe they did.
I don't recall them specifying a number or a range of how many there were.
Yeah. So this one is a player lock milestone. Gene Segura has 2 home runs already, and it's your job to make it 3. So this game's tied 5-5 in the ninth. So now, what we argued about, if you don't hit the home run, what happens? Millennium.
If you do not hit the home run, then you go into what's considered a player lock situation where you will play the rest of the at-bats. I don't know that you will play the actual fielding, though.
So you think
that's where we have our debate at. Is I don't know why would they make you play the fielding on a player lock?
Right. Okay. So on this one, if Gene Segura doesn't hit a home run, we think we're going to get the next Gene Segura at bat next.
See, again, and the quote that I sent to you guys is literally directly what they posted in their forums about the statistical or the player lock critical situations.
Who posted
it? Says it's in. I'm trying to find a link to it here. We'll just keep talking about it for the meantime.
Yeah, I'll keep talking about it. I'm curious who posted it, and if it's something we're misunderstanding with that. Like I said, I understand that they're going to be like a road to the show kind of thing. Mm. But my thing is why would they waste time with you on the fielding of it when there's an option of road to the show to not field?
Yeah,
right. But are you going to pitch the top of the 10th? We don't think we're saying no.
No. You're not going to pitch the top.
No, because you're player locked. Your player.
So we're just going to play
the player in question.
The next Gene Segura at bat, assuming he has another bat in this game.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So we're in agreement on that.
And that's the thing is I would assume if you're trying to complete a hitting statistical situation with Gene Segura, that you would only play hitting situations
with Gene Segura.
With Gene Segura, yes.
Okay. Now I assume if I do hit a home run, well, it would technically be a walk-off. All these things were in the ninth. I didn't really like that, but let's say this was like the 6th inning and I hit a home run. I assume I'm getting another milestone of hitting his 4th home run, right?
Paul says it in the chat, so it probably depends on what your player lock settings on defense are. But the problem is that might be true. That might be true, but you don't have a player lock setting. I wonder is there generic player lock settings? Because from what I remember, you don't have player lock settings in regular game modes.
I mean, you
have to be in the right mode, yeah.
I don't know where my controller is. I think it's under my hat.
Oh, and hi, Paul.
Hey, Paul. How's it going? Uber, what's going on, guys? Everyone else in the chat, how's it going?
Okay, so looking at what I found where it says it, this looks like it's posted in the Show Nation forums, and it looks like it is just a copy paste from the Luis Martinez blog post. I just happened to find this one first, and it says, In addition to these intense game-changing moments, you'll also encounter other important situations such as keeping long hitting streaks alive or hitting 3 home runs in a game. In these situations, you'll be quote-unquote locked to the player involved, meaning you'll only play his at-bats or fielding chances, much like Road to the Show for all the veterans reading this.
And
So again, it's not clear.
And,
Yeah.
and CPU
it's
Geek in
not
the chat
clear.
is saying you do
To be
have
fair,
player
to be fair,
lock
what is clear is you will not lose control of the player until the end of the game.
That is
So-
very clear.
Yeah, if you're your third at bat and it's in the 6th inning with Gene Segura and he's coming up for a 3rd home run, you will have another opportunity if you do not get the 3rd home run. And my guess is if you hit the 3rd one, you'll come up with the 4th one coming up as well as another player lock.
So you think you'll get
And it
another
is-
screen like this?
Well, and the other cool thing is, if you notice in here, the one thing it does say player lock milestone. So you're very true. Someone said there is player lock settings for franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
CPU.
wonder if there is. I don't know. I know you can lock into a player. I just don't know if you can change the player lock setting.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn on the show right now and look at it.
Yeah. So, but
What show?
what we're,
Bullpen Banter?
what-
It's a great show. Bam.
Yes.
so what we're all in agreement of is once you load into a critical situation, regardless of whether it's game score or player lock, you are in it until the end of the game,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Or that player locks part of the game.
Yeah, if he gets
So like if Gene
subbed out.
Segura gets injured or something,
Yeah.
you're
So
coming
what? Yeah. So that's the thing is, it's definitely not clear how the player lock. Like again, for me personally, it makes absolutely no sense if you're trying to hit a 3rd home run with Gene Segura. Why the heck it would matter if you're out fielding ground balls in the infield?
right. Well, as long as you have
But-
your setting.
But again, yeah, and that's the thing is, player lock is player lock. So does it just adhere to the basic player lock situation or settings? I mean, again, we don't have clarity on that right
and
now.
I don't remember if there were settings for that last year. 'Cause
I think Red Sox is in chat. He's actually going into game right now, so we'll have that answer shortly.
Okay.
So far, so good.
All right. Next up. Hey, player lock. I don't know if you guys heard of this. It's a thing in the game. So this is the player lock lineup screen this year. It's just going to give you the starting lineup so that you don't accidentally pick someone that's going to be on the bench this game. You could do that in the past. Just pick someone on the bench.
Yes,
That seems a little awkward.
you could actually.
That
you could
sounds
pick
like the
anyone
most
you want.
Rich Grisham thing to possibly do in a video game.
Yeah, you know what though, Rich, props to him because the way he does it is probably one of the reasons that they have those player lock and all these extra reasons because of how many times he mentioned he needs to get through games faster. With even you now, TJ, you have a child, you got to get through games faster. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's why I play Battle Royale.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God.
Just kidding. No
Why?
one likes Battle Royale. That's terrible. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to even mention it. Yeah, the way Rich plays is he does the first, I think it's 6 or 7 innings, player lock to like David Wright or Lucas Duda, and then he'll close out the game, which is weird because he plays with the Mets. So wouldn't you want to use the starting pitchers? I don't understand him.
Hey,
If you want to get through the games faster, you're going to do what you have to do to get through the games faster.
I like this idea. This would actually also be good if you're one of those guys that wants to just create yourself and put you into a franchise.
What in the world was that?
What was that?
sorry, turning on my TV. Sorry.
Those weird Canadian TVs make some amazing noises.
the TDs from Canada.
It's a Samsung TV.
Yeah, Samsung A is what we
Yeah,
call it.
Samsung. Yeah.
No, it's just a Samsung TV.
I have a Samsung TV. Does not.
It's
make
just
a noise.
very yeah.
No, I, was
mine
saying,
is-
I have a Samsung TV. My Samsung TV doesn't beep at me when I turn it on. It looks at me
Mine-
and goes, "Here's my
mine-
screen."
Mine is 9 years old.
9.
Yeah.
Germany did not qualify for the World Baseball Classic this year. You know who did
Uber
qualify?
YouTuber in the chat. The Super Mario Smart TV. Does that thing
Exactly.
come with a removable dock?
Yes, absolutely. And Joy-Cons to use as the remotes.
Oh Jesus! You don't talk to me about your Joy-Con on this show.
And the left one doesn't stay connected.
All right. Good thing we diverged.
I have that problem as I get older too.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus. What have
Yeah,
we become?
that's what. So Red Sox says the same thing. Just to go back to the player lock for the critical situations, real quick. There is an option in the main menu if you go to user settings and mode specific, where you have road to the show fielding opportunities, you can actually change that in the main menu. Now, I wonder
assume that's.
I wonder if that changes.
I feel like you can change it depending on your road to the show save specifically, but I don't know if that's like the default for when you go in. Then
no, that's the default. It's in the main. There is the one in the. No, I'm looking at it right now. Red Sox under user settings mode specific, you can go to the road to the show field. It says RTTS fielding opportunities. So if I set
that's
it to
road
none,
to the show. That's not player lock.
Right, I understand that, but it acts the same as player lock. Player lock acts as road to the show.
Does it?
So I'm trying it now. I'm trying. Keep going. Vamp for me.
Vamp. No, we're going to talk about Quick Manage. So Quick Manage is going to give you the ability to jump into the game. Actually, so what it does is you get these options here. This is the Quick Manage screen. You see the matchup here and here and here. I don't know how to do this. The camera's all backwards. And then you can pick if you want to. If you're pitching, you could say if you want to pitch to the guy, pitch around to the guy, pitch to contact, walk the batter, do substitutions and all that stuff. You can also go left and right on this menu to actually pull up the guy's cards and see what's going on with them. And like, let's say you get to a spot where you want to actually play the game, you can just hit square, enter the game. And I believe you only get that one loading screen the first time you enter a game, and you can go in multiple times, bounce in and out.
Coolest thing, go ahead. You go first. Okay, so the coolest thing about that is one loading time to get into the game, so you can back in and out of the same game as many times as you want. The other cool thing is you don't get loading screens throughout Quick Manage. Mm-hmm. So you get the first loading screen for Quick Manage. If you don't go into a game, you won't see another loading screen as you go through the games. That's the other cool part. So that's again, you get through 4 or 5 games in like a 5-minute period if you just do what they call the Ramon Russell turbo button. So
what? That can't be right.
Yes, you can get through multiple games without loading.
Yeah, as long as you do not load into actual gameplay. There is no loading screen to go into Quick Manage and out of Quick Manage as long as you don't load into an actual game.
Gotcha. I thought you were saying that if you load into a game, you could do multiple games, but that would make no sense.
No.
Though I guess technically, if it was the same series, it should theoretically be okay. Kind of like how Road to the Show had that this year.
Yeah, but in this case, what they're saying is you can load into a game. But if you load into 2 separate games, the loading screen you will get is the first time you load into a single game. If you stay in Quick Manage, you will not get loading screens.
It's pretty snazzy.
Yeah, I think, and this I've been thinking a lot about this Quick Manage since the stream, and for me personally, I'm going to use Quick Manage a lot. I absolutely despise simming games just outright. But I also don't want to play 162 games. And I think, Quick Manage, it takes 5 minutes. I'm thinking like how I could work it into like a stream kind of structure, where you play 3 games and Quick Manage the rest. And I think it's a really, really good addition. I think coupled with critical situations, again, it allows franchise guys to just kind of pick their own path. Oh, this is how you want to play. This is how you want to play. This is how you want to play. And it's great. 5 minutes in and out. You can load in if you want. One loading screen. I think the way this was implemented, you don't see a lot of features like this implemented in sports games that on the surface look like they will be flawless. And I'm not saying it's going to be. I mean, we still have to play the game. Quick Manage looks like it could be a flawless addition to franchise mode.
Agreed.
So, as a heads up, to follow up on our player lock question.
Oh, good. Mm-hmm. I'm trying it too.
I turn so when you go into the in-game menu, right, and change when you're in franchise mode and you're player locked onto somebody. Mm-hmm. If you pause and go into gameplay options, there is a player lock option. In there, the option is actually called RTTS fielding opportunities. I set it to none in my main menu, and it is actually set to none in here, like in the main menu outside of franchise. So I set it to none in that. I loaded my franchise up. I went into a game, player locked as Alcides Escobar, and
Hey,
it
me
says,
too.
It says fielding opportunities, none. So it looks like whoever said that, and I apologize for forgetting who that was in the chat. It might be tied to what you have your road to the show setting is in your main menu.
Yeah, so really weird that I also had Alcides Escobar player locked. I'm now in the middle of my second game of testing this with fielding opportunities. What the heck was that? With fielding opportunities set to none, and so far I have only had at bats. Like so far, the settings replicate exactly what my RTTS settings are in a couple of games worth of testing.
All right.
Just a question in the chat. If I was going to use sliders for franchise or go dynamic, I want to go dynamic because dynamic's one of the better ways to keep the game fresh as you play, and keeping it to your skill level. My problem was I need dynamic not to reset on me halfway through the year.
Oh my god, I had that. I think I had it happen twice.
So annoying, yeah.
But then also in the beginning of the season, when you're like trying to get through rookie, it's like, okay, I'm gonna blow out a couple teams real quick here.
But yeah, so it does look like player. But just to follow up on that, it does look like they treat player lock and road to the show as the same thing.
Yeah, like I said, I'm into my almost like halfway through my third game now, and I have literally only had to hit with Alcides Escobar. So you would think him being a shortstop, I would have probably had a ground ball by now.
Right.
The slider question. My only thing with dynamic is, like, I don't like it. Because it will go down as you get in a slump, correct?
Yeah.
So that's my thing, right? Like if I'm in a slump, like I just don't want the game to all of a sudden get easier. Like I kind of want to work my way out of it, like you kind of would have to in real life. That's my only caveat with dynamic. I mean, I typically do use dynamic, but sometimes I feel like, I don't want it to get easier when I'm struggling.
I think it actually, I could be completely wrong, but I think it takes longer to drop down than it takes to go up.
Yeah, and there's also a slider for it too. Don't forget that. Yeah. Is that there's actually a slider to control like how fast the dynamic changes. Yeah.
So I usually keep it on like fastest to start to try to get up quick.
Yeah,
and then I slow it down.
So and I think honestly, I believe that there are built-in slumps and built in to the game. I don't think it makes like it doesn't like code that you're going to slump,
no.
But you're the way baseball is if you're a 60 rated hitter, there are some balls that just aren't going to fall, and I think this game represents that very well.
Yeah,
agreed. Next up, guess what? Another legend reveal. You guys want to take a guess who this is? I mean, we know. So
we should all know what this is.
I have no idea.
Eric Karros. This is his 1995 breakout legend. I remember these cards.
Get booted off the game, get a legend card.
Hey, man, that's how you got to do it. Unless you're Harold Reynolds, you get into the game, and you get a legend card. This is his attribute screen. Interesting splits. 79 contact versus righties, 95 power versus righties, which seems normal. But then 92 contact versus lefties, and only 63 power versus lefties. So, if you want contact and bombs, you go versus righty. If you want super contact and not many bombs, you go against lefty.
Well, and I think the other thing about this card is it's a 91. People are going to have to start recognizing that a 91 last year wouldn't have had these splits.
Yeah.
Like a 91 last year would have been one of those cards you could probably work with towards, maybe not the very end game, but pretty close to the end game.
Yeah.
So this Eric Karros, one of the cool things this year is we know we're going to have to worry about balance, guys that can hit both lefties and righties. This one can, granted in different ways, but this one can hit
still
both.
Valuable both ways. Yeah.
Yeah, it's valuable because it can hit lefties and righties both successfully, has decent vision, and at first base, again, I think we're thinking that defense is going to be more important because of the dynamic ball physics. 76 defense, you're not going to be able to just hide guys at first base this year. So,
yeah. I feel like I like this card. I feel like I could use it, but just going based on like 16's version of the game, I feel like come July he's just going to be white noise at first base, and you're going to forget that he ever existed. once we start getting some of the better first base cards. I mean, first base, they have so many cards, so many top tier guys. I feel like this will be a good card for a few months, and then I feel like you'll forget that it ever happened.
Possibly.
Only because of the live series cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too, right? You have to factor in somebody like Rizzo, who IE boost could easily make him a 96, 97 almost every day.
Yeah, but remember that Rizzo, the higher end guys are not going to get those inside edge boosts this year.
Yeah, at least not as big.
They purposely said they tweaked inside edge this year that if you're like a 99 or if you're 99 contact versus righties, getting that extra boost is going to be impossible for you.
Also, I'd like to point out that currently there's only 5 gold or diamond first basemen in MLB 16 that have 59 or better speed. And this guy's 59 speed.
Yeah, the speed plays. 59 speed's not anything to sneeze at either. From first base, obviously, or catcher for that matter.
Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, no, like I said, I think it's a good card. I just feel like later in the season, it's probably not a guy that you're going to have.
I agree with later in the season. I have a hunch.
But he's got those interesting splits. I mean, he might be a guy that sticks around for a while.
I have a hunch that July is not going to be later this season. I think later this season is going to be September this year. I honestly believe they're going to save those high-end cards. They already talked about the Griffey. The Griffey is the end game center fielder, and they already said you're not getting that until after the All-Star break at the very least.
Yeah.
I
hope you're right. I honestly hope you're right.
With all the stuff we got at the end of last year, I think they're going to take a different approach this year in terms of releasing high-end cards. And they're going to take some flack for it, I think, too. I think you're going to see on the internet, they're going to go, where are all the really good cards? Where are all the good cards? Why are you giving us all these little crappy upgrades? And people are going to realize they're going to want to be playing in September because of that.
Well, and they're going to take flack for it from the people who suck at BR as well, who can't get the upper tier BR rewards because they're no good at BR. And then they can't get upper tier cards in Diamond Dynasty because they're not released yet.
Well, no.
They just give him
BR is going to be the same way. I don't. No, you don't understand. I think my pitch here is that they're going to do this across the board. A 20-game win in BR is not going to be the same in May as it will be in September. I think BR.
I have to disagree with you there.
Why? Why would they not change that?
Because I think they're opening a can of worms that they don't want to be opening. If you're telling me that they're a 20-game win in May is going to get me a 94 and it's going to get me a 99 in July, then why am I playing BR in May?
Why are you playing any game mode then? All of your rewards step up as the season goes on. That's true in every game. NBA 2K, your rewards in NBA 2K17, my team, are way lower in October than they are right now. Right now, Ruby cards are a dime a dozen. It's the same thing in Madden. It's the same thing in Madden.
I still think you need to have, like, if you win, I mean, have any of us on this stream won 20 games in BR this year?
No, I don't think so. And I get that.
Yeah, like you still have to have. I think you still have to make that mean something. I agree with you. I agree. Like holding back the Beltran, as we'll use that as an example that everybody loves, to September or October. I think that's a great idea. But they still are going to have those, the 99 Pujols, and those cards are going to exist in BR fairly early. I believe.
You're insane.
No,
they're not going to put a 99 card in BR until a 99 card is available to everybody.
Yeah, because those cards need to be in the regular stuff. Except for the ones that are going to be locked to BR. Those cards are going to have to be cards that are just in the game for the most part. Unless it's going to be specific stuff.
Well, that's what I'm talking. I'm talking BR specific rewards.
Right, obviously. But then you're going to be able to. But the thing is, if you get that 95 in May, you can sell that for probably the same that you would sell the 99 for in September.
Yeah, fair enough.
So you're going to the market's going to play that out, I would assume.
I agree, and I disagree with Paul under one thing. I think I think you're going to be able to get the best cards available at that time.
Yeah,
I think the best card available at that time in April, you'll be able to get your hold of. I don't think that best card available will be the best card available the same in September as it is in April. So if the best card available in the game in April is a 95, that's what you're going to be able to earn in BR. by the time those other cards come out, they will be cycled into BR. But I don't think there's any reason for them to give away a 99 card in BR to start.
But there's already going to be 99 in the game when the game drops.
What card is that?
Yeah, we don't know that.
Is Kershaw not a 99?
No, that's live
Yeah, but
series.
that's live
though.
series.
Oh, yeah, but you didn't specify.
No,
the
the
rewards
99s.
for BR have always been special cards, right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah,
I suppose.
I believe so, but
I suppose.
I think
but that's the
12
thing.
and 20
Maybe
wins
they
have always
could
been
cycle
special.
in some of the upper tier live series.
Right, but
I don't disagree with what you're saying. I do think you're going to be able to get better rewards in September than you will be able to get in May. But I'm not saying that those cards aren't going to be 97, 98, 99 in May. Like if you win 20 games, and honestly, if you win 20 games and the reward is a 93, I just don't see it happening. And again, I don't want to drag the whole show out talking about this. We can agree to disagree. That's why there's 3 of us on the show. I disagree with you on this one thing.
So I don't remember what the early rewards were. I feel like everybody got Bagwell early last year, and I don't remember what that card was.
yeah, I think they'll get.
That
Like I said,
was
BR cards are not live series. Live series are very rarely rewards for game modes.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Typically, the upper tier BR rewards are always a legend or a prime flashback of some kind.
Yeah. All right. Player quirks. Probably my favorite thing from this stream. So you can see there's player quirks here. So player quirks are going to affect the player's PCI. For hitters, it's going to get bigger if they're good quirks, and for pitchers, it's going to make the opponent's batters smaller. Let me hide myself so you can see these. So you can see. So there's 2 types of player quirks. There are ones that are based on their attributes, which are essentially just a visual representation of them having a good attribute, and there are ones that are based off of splits. So I believe. The ones that are based off of attributes those are not going to actually affect the PCI or anything for you. Because they're literally just saying that things are good. So this one says, for Devin Travis, it says he's a hitting machine. He excels at getting base hits. I assume that just means that he has good contact. Right?
Yeah.
And it says when he performs better with runners on base, I assume that means he has high clutch. So I don't think that's going to do anything to his PCI. But Road Warrior is based on his home and road splits. So when he's playing a road game, he is going to have a bigger PCI. Also, Night Player, he performs better at night games. So during night games, he's going to have a bigger PCI. But during day games, it's going to be a little bit smaller than normal. Which I really don't know if I like the negative stuff to it, but I understand.
Don't know that that's the way it works. We had the same conversation on OS about this. I think, and don't get me wrong here, I think what was meant was that you get a boost when you're at night, but you get nothing during the day. So by proxy, you are a worse hitter during the day because your night PCI is just bigger. I don't think you get the negative effect back on you.
He really made it sound like you were going to get the negative effect. I even went back and listened to it again today just to hear it again, and he really made it sound like it's going to affect you negatively.
Which is weird. Like I don't like. What about the unfazed? So excels when hitting with 2 strikes. Does that mean your PCI you get a negative effect on you?
Yeah. So
that's what I mean. Is like
it's
maybe
very unclear.
some of them have it. Maybe like you said, like the splits, like Road Warrior. You'll you get it, but what happens if you have Road Warrior, but then you don't have the home one? So maybe you get a negative effect at home, but it just seems weird that they would.
Yeah, I feel like it shouldn't hurt you negatively.
Right.
So here's the next one. So here you see Devin Travis. He has Road Warrior, Night Player, and Unfazed. Yeah, so those are the 3 that affect his thing. So for a day game, he's getting no bonus. And I think when they were on this screen, this is when they were saying that for a night game, he's going to get... for a day game, he's going to get hurt. But I think it's just going to be his regular PCI
Well, see, and that's what he says. Day game, no bonuses. That's what I mean. It's like that's got to be like his regular PCI. Because if you look at the left, it's Road Warrior, Night Player, unfazed, right? And the right is Night and 2 strikes.
Right.
So I'm not saying it shouldn't negatively hit him, Paul. That's not what I mean. Is like I don't know that that's what it meant though, because so Devin Travis doesn't like he performs better in the day, but does he perform worse at night than his average?
Yeah, than his baseline.
Right. Does his baseline? I don't know.
Because then the question is, where do you put the baseline? You
No,
know?
I agree. I also agree that some guys, depending on certain situations, some guys suck. But just because somebody is better during the day doesn't mean they suck at night.
Right.
Like, where does that baseline start and begin for these guys? Or start and end, I'm sorry, begin and end.
Right. Yeah, and I said so for these splits ones, it's like you can't just give a number to this kind of stuff, which is why they're doing it like this. But yeah, I would assume. I mean, I don't understand. What did we say makes up the PCI is what? Contact rating?
Contact and vision. Vision
So-
affects it too.
So if 2 guys have the same contact and vision, and one has Night Player,
Right.
during a day game, is the guy with Night Player going to be smaller than the other guy that doesn't have it?
My feeling is no. I don't know if that's right or not, but my feeling is no.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. My feeling is no.
Right. They didn't say there were any negative quirks.
Right. They did say. They said
Right.
there were no negative quirks. But
Right.
then that's where Luis went on to say, but
But if you have Road Warrior, that means you're gonna take a hit at home.
right.
That's the
because
way
you're
he very much sounded like that. I mean, we
Right.
can send an email and see if we can get some more clarification on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think.
But that's the question.
mean-
is it does it mean that you're going to play worse at home because you're used to playing better on the road
Right.
with the larger PCI? Like, I don't know. And the other thing about this is not just franchise. All of these things affect Diamond Dynasty as well.
Yeah.
So
Except for the splits ones, they are not going to be. So I don't think stuff like these splits are going to be in there because they said they can't calculate
just the
that stuff.
just the markers are going to be in then.
Yeah.
So they're not going to affect. Okay, so you're not going to get anything that affects your PCI in Diamond Dynasty.
That is the way they made it sound.
Right.
But obviously
I
we
agree
have
with that,
some questions about that. But yeah, so that's something we can ask. If a guy has, 65 contact, 65 vision, and no quirk, does he have the same size PCI as another guy that has Road Warrior during the day? So I don't know. We'll try to figure that out and get back to you on that. But always worth discussing.
I'm sending that email now, actually.
Okay. Do that. Maybe we'll get something back. Or even, tweet at someone. Maybe someone's around. Who knows? So here we got, who's this? Justin Turner, pressure cooker. He performs better when there are runners on base. I assume that's just saying that he has a high clutch rating. Also a road warrior, breaking ball hitter. He excels at hitting breaking balls. So when the pitcher throws a breaking ball, he's going to have a bigger PCI. And he performs better in the 9th inning or later. So late in the game, he's also going to have a bigger PCI.
So now here's the question. So clutch doesn't affect what inning you're in. It's only affects with runners in base. So does fighter give him a PCI bigger in the 9th inning?
Yes, because I'm assuming fighter is based off a split, not based off of his rating.
Okay, so again, Road Warrior gives him a boost, right?
Right, because that's based off a split, not his rating.
But then pressure cooker
Because
doesn't.
there's no hitting rating. I mean, there's no road
Right.
hitting rating.
But then pressure cooker doesn't because it says it just performs better when runners are on base.
Because he is already getting a boost off that because of his clutch rating.
The way it was explained to me is that we will be able to tell by the description of the quirk whether it's affecting your PCI or your rating or something. My only problem here is the word performs is used in 3 of the 4,
Right.
and only 3 of them, not the pressure cooker one, affects the rating.
Well, I'm going to skip to the Masahiro Tanaka one. He has one called Mr. Splitty, which is throws an extremely effective split-fingered fastball.
Right.
That's not going to do anything that is just telling you that he has a extremely good split finger fastball. It's not changing anything about it.
Yes.
Same with okay, hold on. Back to who else we got here. Yeah, so I think Pressure Cooker is specifically just saying that he has a high clutch rating.
But now, is Workhorse saying that he has a high stamina rating, or does his
Workhorse is saying that
does his go down?
Workhorse is saying he has a high stamina rating because that's why he will lose energy at a slower rate.
Okay.
And excels at limiting walks. I assume a control artist. I assume is a high walks per 9.
Got it.
Knee Buckler throws an extremely effective breaking ball. I assume that just means he has a high break rating. And Road Warrior is he performs better playing on the road. So on the road, he will be negatively affecting the batter's PCI.
I hope at some point they put out a guide to the quirks.
They said it was only about 20, plus, so I could see them doing that.
Saying, hey, or maybe in the strategy guide. Maybe the strategy guide it came, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it should be pretty straightforward. But they don't tell you how much like the PCI moves or anything, but I'm sure we could do screenshots and try to figure that all out for ourselves. Where were we? No, Syndergaard has untouchable. Excels at striking out hitters, so high K per 9. Excels at limiting walks, so high walks per 9. And throws an extremely effective fastball. Yeah, so Noah Syndergaard does not have any split-based quirks. His are all based on his ratings.
Okay.
How did you confuse yourself, Millennium?
Oh no, I'm confusing myself with like I just want to see what quirks do what. Like I want the quirks to come. I want since the quirks are not like, effects. I don't think the quirks affect ratings differently. Like one quirk puts this number on another number. I want to just tell me what the quirks do. That's all I want to do. Tell me if it's a marker. Yeah. Well, no, what I'm saying is I would like Sony either in the strategy guide in game or just come out and say this quirk does this.
So you want to know that grounded doesn't do anything. Grounded is just a notifier that you have good home runs per 9.
That even makes me that makes me more angry because home runs over 9 doesn't do anything in the game. So
right, but will this not affect if you're simming?
That's what I mean. Well, I mean it'll affect simming, but the HR they excel at limiting home runs. So if I'm in a game, this perk means nothing, and it's going to show up on the display screen. And if you're a normal user that isn't connected, if you're normal, assuming
that they didn't change anything this year,
right? So if you're a normal user playing Diamond Dynasty, because this is not, I guess this is a split one.
This is based on attributes. This is based on attributes.
So based on attribute. If you're a Diamond Dynasty user, right, and you do not go looking for information, just a regular Diamond Dynasty guy, and you go up to your matchup screen, when you're in the hitter, they showed how they show the comparisons of quirks.
I got that in a minute.
And you see excels at limiting home runs. First of all, you've got a guy with a high HR over 9 that you think is affecting power. Second of all, you've got a quirk telling you this guy doesn't let up home runs, so you're going to throw fastballs a little higher, expecting a lack of home runs, and you're going to get lit the hell up.
Mm-hmm. So I wonder if this won't show in Diamond Dynasty.
Oh, they will. Because that's one of the reasons they were playing head-to-head, remember? They were playing head-to-head, and when Ramon told them in a previous stream, don't hit left or right on the D-pad, because left or right on the D-pad gave them this matchup.
I'm just saying maybe some of these specific ones don't show up on that screen.
Maybe I don't know.
Because assuming that home runs per 9 is still a sim-only stat, maybe this doesn't show up on that screen for some reason.
I would be highly surprised if a quirk is active on a player and not showing on that screen.
Okay, let's look at this one. Knee Buckler and Pickoff Artist. Knee Buckler means he has... I skipped over to... this is the Joe Smith and Hyun-Soo Kim matchup. So Knee Buckler is just based on his high rating, so that's not going to help you at all.
Right.
Except he's got a good curveball.
Right.
And Pickoff Artist.
Pickoff Artist. Yeah. Does that mean he was a more effective? I mean, under the hood. That's nice to see at least.
Yeah, that means he has a good. I believe that means he has a good pickoff move.
Because there are guys. So anyone that knows this, that doesn't know this, I think most of the people in this chat know it because most of these guys are educated. But like Pickoff Artists, pickoffs under the hood, there are pickoff ratings for each pitcher dependent upon their splits in real life. You don't get to see those and the guy's arm strength has something to do with it. But there's actually a pickoff rating dependent on the pitcher, and now you'll get a chance to see some of that with these quirks.
Hyunsu Kim has platoon, but again, it has platoon, but it doesn't tell you like which side of the platoon. I would assume it's the right side. Like I said,
that's just a marker. Yeah, it's just platoon's just a marker.
Dead red is he hits fastballs, and pinch hitter. I guess he gets a boost for pinch hitting.
That would have to be a boost. Yeah, that would have to be a boost.
Then for Manny Machado, he's got cannon. So that's the defensive one. I assume that just means he has arm strength. I don't know what sniper was. I assume arm accuracy.
Arm accuracy, I'm going to guess, yeah.
Unbreakable, a high injury rating, I would assume. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I would think so. Which is actually kind of funny considering Manny Machado has had surgery on both knees.
Yeah.
But last year, which again, I think quirks are not 3-year based like the ratings are. Quirks are 1-year based.
I mean, they made it sound like they could even update it in the roster updates.
They did. Oh, they said that. They flat out said that they could.
So I wonder if, say, third week of the season, Manny Machado gets hurt. I wonder if that week 4 update is going to have that unbreakable taken away. You know? Or if someone has unbreakable and they need Tommy John surgery.
Maybe. I could see that.
Yeah. Did they say if they would be dynamic? That was something I didn't catch.
They did make it sound like they can update it through the roster updates.
Yeah, roster updates can update quirks, attributes in game. If a quirk is tied to an attribute, if your attribute regresses or progresses past the threshold, you can actually, those are the dynamic in game ones.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so they said if you have whatever speedster or whatever it's called for being fast, and your speed rating ends up dropping below the threshold, you will no longer have that anymore.
Makes sense.
Anything else? What else did I have? I had Jake Lambs. He's got the platoon. He excels at batting, very one-handed. That's just based off his attributes.
Yes.
Which is weird because those attributes are based off splits, but plays better at home because he's a homebody. First pitch they bat, he's going to get a bigger PCI because he excels at hitting those, and he performs better in the late inning. So,
Detroit Sports Guy says, can you earn quirks throughout the season? If you take at night, will you earn that? Or if you rake at night, will you earn that quirk? No. The quirks
these are
that are
based off
based
real life.
Yeah, the quirks based off real life splits, you cannot earn. The quirks based off your current attributes, you can. And for all of the generated players in the SIE rosters or the drafted rookies, they will have randomized split quirks put onto them.
Twitch Star asks if when you pre-order, if you get the packs on the release date or when they're released over time, you get them at release date.
You get them release date. Yeah, you get them release date.
I made my pre-order for...
I believe if you pre-order at a store, you get a code on your receipt.
Yep.
If you pre-order on PSN, they will automatically show up under the pack section once you start up the game on 28th.
Yeah, it's not like FIFA or Madden where it's like you get a pack a week for 1,000 weeks or whatever.
Pack a week?
Pack a week for 40 weeks. That sounds great.
Good
I
question.
want to play Madden after 2 weeks.
Are TTS going to have player quirks?
I believe so.
I think I saw that was the thing.
But
I believe... Yeah.
But are those only going to be the attribute ones?
I think they're only going to be the attribute ones.
Yeah, it's just the attribute ones. Yeah, because again, the IRL ones are based on IRL, and your RTTS player has no real life.
Neither do you if you're playing this much Road to the Show. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Boom! Pound it right.
So,
there.
I mean,
Thanks,
guys. I have nothing to add to the whole confusion. We definitely need some sort of guide to tell us what the heck is going on with these player quirks.
And you know where you're going to find that guide? Right here on Bullpen Banter.
That's right. Yeah, we'll definitely have a 3-hour special on player quirks once we figure out how to do them.
Yeah.
But can we
your whole
talk
job
about
is
how
to just find out.
Can we talk about what this does for franchise mode?
Makes it cool. I'm going to go get lots of guys with that doesn't let up home runs thing.
Yeah, I think this is low key one of the best, coolest additions to franchise mode that I've ever seen. From the simple standpoint of it gives players more of a personality, And B, it gives you more evaluation information as a GM and as a coach. And the example I've been using is the one you have on the screen, the Manny Machado. If you're running with the Cubs in your franchise, who play more day games than pretty much every other team in baseball.
That's exactly what I was just thinking.
Manny Machado becomes a free agent. He is more desirable to you now because you play more day games. You want Manny Machado over generic third baseman B, who maybe doesn't have that, that quirk. It's a really interesting dynamic, and it makes the fact that that the rookies are going to have randomly generated ones on there. It really just gives an extra depth to scouting and to free agency and trades. I don't think they talked about it. If you can see the quirks during the scouting aspect on rookies, I think you don't determine the quirks until after you actually draft them, which is maybe a bit of a bummer, but still, I am super, super hyped about these player quirks from a general managerial standpoint.
Yeah, and with that, I wonder if there will be one for like playing in the dome, if there'll be a boost to that. So,
and again, I knew someone would post that. Detroit Sport Guy says, "Who wouldn't want Manny?" Well, no, every team's going to be after him. But if you're the Cubs and he has that day player, maybe you go you offer him a little bit more, because again, you could take advantage of that. It's just it's those little things that that add a little extra dynamic to player scouting and player evaluation.
Right. I mean, we really have to hear back on if this stuff negatively affects you.
Yes.
Because what if you're going to pick between Manny Machado and a exactly similar third baseman, but Manny Machado has day player, and let's say that the stuff does negatively impact you. So if you're playing your games, you play the majority of your games at night, you might be actually getting a worse player because because Manny Machado has day player, and he's going to be taking a negative hit during the night. So
yeah,
we have to see.
Yeah. Okay. So now I got to know, because Mills is a huge scouting, rookie kind of guy. Like, do you? This definitely changes the way you progress through evaluating players, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not going to be the end all be all of how I scout, but it'll be like one of those add-on things. Like if I find if I find 2 or 3 guys that I like, and one of those guys has player quirks that matches up to what I like to put in my lineup, or matches up to one of the like platoon. Let's say we're looking for a platoon guy, not just necessarily for scouting,
bullpen arms.
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, this could make or like a huge difference when trying to find guys. Yeah.
And again, a lot of them are markers, which means it's stuff that you probably knew already anyway. But yeah, the stuff that affects your PCI, absolutely, or the stuff that affects your pitching, absolutely. I want to see those things. Those things are going to help me in game. It's going to help me while simming, because apparently the player quirks do help simming. To answer the question that Sports Life says, will players you scout have split quirks? Yes, they will. They'll be randomly generated. I do not know if you can see them while scouting. I don't know if that's going to be randomly generated past scouting or before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I absolutely anything that again, I put this like NBA 2K's badges, or if you remember player traits from Madden in years past. It adds another level to each player, which is always good for a game.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, budget. Go ahead, Millennium.
Budget.
So now your budget's going to kind of be shown by money per week, which is cash flow. Here's your team budget breakdown, so you can see team revenue, revenue sharing, player salaries, coach salaries, scout salaries. You can see your cash flow per week. You're also going to see that stuff on the trade menu now. And go for it.
The other thing that I found out too,
hit me with all the budget stuff you got.
Okay, so you're going to get cash flow per week. That's going to go a lot on what you're talking about in terms of winning. Winning is going to be your number one thing, as opposed to other franchise modes where you can get money off of, night. What are they called? Reward nights or promotion nights, or ticket sales, that kind of stuff. You're going to get it mostly on number one, winning. Number two, if you're a lower end team, you'll get revenue sharing. Or number three, based on what your salaries are. Your initial budget, I did find this out, your initial budget will be 10%, or will always be based on whatever your initial payroll is. So if you go into your regular just roster editor and give yourself all of the stars on the Tampa Bay Rays, let's say you have a $300 million payroll on the Tampa Bay Rays. The Tampa Bay Rays budget will start a little bit over that like it did last year. So you can fudge the budgets by editing rosters beforehand. That being said, if all of the contracts are correct, like they normally are with the or they're normally close with the MLB The Show rosters, your budgets will be untouched. But you have to be very careful with that. Is that if you wanted to do like a Legends roster, those guys, your budget will be higher due to that. And you will, if you're looking for a realistic experience and you put like a legend on Tampa Bay, they will have that $30 million, that extra whatever budget in their budget for the life of your franchise.
Yeah, it's funny. We did, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, we did a Press Row online franchise, and we were like, let's turn the legends on. Nobody could sign a legend. I signed Dante Bichette because he was like $5 million.
You can't sign them to start off with because they're always asking for like a 1 year, $30 million deal.
$30 million,
yeah. But if you install them, like I created a roster where I installed them all in their original teams. Mm-hmm. That worked for, 2 months in until all the legends started regressing.
Yeah. I think I'm a big fan of just looking at the screenshot that is up right now. I'm a big fan that they've simmed out 35 years to test how this all works.
Yes.
I mean, again, to be fair, like, to be the devil's advocate here, this is just repackaging stuff that you could already kind of thumb your way through in MLB 16. Yes, the weekly cash flow is a little bit different, but for the most part, this team budget stuff is untouched. And I think the minor tweaks and updates to it are mostly because they knew that there is a small to medium size group of people who really wanted giant budgetary revamp in franchise mode, and it just wasn't in the cards. So you make it look a little sprucier, you call it cash flow, but really it's pretty much the same information that we've had in franchise mode last year and the year before that.
Right.
We good? We good on budget?
I'm good, yeah.
All right.
I think, like I said, the biggest thing is always remember that you can always alter your budget by changing your team before you start franchise mode.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like cheating. Why don't I just make this guy a 99, trade him away for Clayton Kershaw, and then I'll go back and edit him back to a 65 in their team?
Can we not get into that, please?
I mean, it's a way to do it.
That's a bug. Did you know that's a bug? That's an
it.
actual bug in the game.
Yes.
They should patch that.
So after all this, they just went over a couple little things. So there's the new top prospects menu option on the league page. This is going to give you the list of all the top prospects in baseball. This is going to be based on service time, and the list is dynamic. So you may notice some people aren't here. Number one that I can think of is you do not see Dansby Swanson on here, who should be up there super high. I assume that's because his service time is already high enough that he's not going to be showing up on this list anymore. So I think their prospect list is a little bit different than the Major League prospect list.
I'll be trading for Ricky Rico, starting pitcher from the Pittsburgh Pirates organization.
Not Ricky Rowe from Blue Chips?
No.
Okay. Blue Chips was just on. Good flick.
Nice.
Player morale now has a bunch of smiley faces. This looks straight out of Pro Baseball Spirits. I know there was a lot of smiley faces there. Also, kind of reminds me of Super Mega Baseball, if I'm not mistaken.
If I remember correctly, I mean, like they seem like they're I'm not going to say lifting or finessing, but it looks like they're doing a lot of things in terms of other games, which I'm okay with. Like, make your game better. That's part of the reason. Go for it.
Yeah. If it works, it works.
Yeah, I feel I feel like the parts of franchise mode that have been quote unquote inspired by other titles, the ones that they've taken have been like, yeah, that makes sense. That's a very good part of game X. I would love to see that in the show. That's, at least they're borrowing the aspects that are good and that we would want them to borrow, and not like,
Right.
oh, why did they do that?
And then lastly, now computer generated players will look better in your late years of Road to the Show. They're not Road to
You
the
say
Show.
lastly. You say lastly, but that is absolutely important.
Yeah. Actually, can we just point out that all of the Orioles on that coaching screen none of them were happy with their coaching level? We just talk about that for a second.
Amen. They were
You're
all very
welcome if you
content.
want
Though.
to.
They were satisfied. I'd be satisfied if I had Buck Martinez as my coach. I would not be unsatisfied.
Buck
Martinez.
I'm just saying, pick up Buck Martinez. He's been calling some World Baseball Classic games real nice.
Yeah, I'd love anything than not to have to hear his 62 times a year.
Yeah. He's good. I miss old Buck Martinez. I miss Soup Campbell as well. Couple good guys I miss.
Nice.
But yeah, so these guys look better, more random body types. That's cool with me. I'm fine with that. But that's all I got from that stream. Anything else you guys want to mention? Snaggle?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the body types and stuff as well. Again, any diversification, adding personality to the players, I think it's kind of cool. Again, on the
I didn't know
overall-
Hellboy played baseball, so that's cool.
Yeah, it's all good. I think on the overall, again, there are people who were disappointed that they didn't go like super duper revamp a franchise, but I really think the additions that they did make are very big pillars that we're going to see in franchise mode for several years, and allows them now to start focusing on the minor things within franchise. But yeah, I mean, again, it doesn't turn people away. It doesn't turn me away from franchise at all. It makes me more interested in how I'm going to get through it, and how the player quirks are going to work, and trying to work them into your day-to-day general managing of your team. Overall, I was really impressed. I think we kind of knew going into it, based on new gameplay physics, all the Diamond Dynasty stuff we got. They still have Road to the Show stuff to reveal this week. We kind of knew the franchise was going to be a bit light. But yeah, overall, I'm happy and impressed with the updates.
Millennium, how are you? Are you happy?
I'm good. I'm good. One thing I want people to understand as well is, and I've been I won't say preaching this, but saying this a lot, is that yes, franchise mode did not get the love that people were expecting, especially because people are a little spoiled by MLB The Show and always being franchise first. But what they have to realize also is that Road to the Show is about to get a complete overhaul. We're going to see that this week. I think people are going to be kind of amazed at what we get out of Road to the Show. Diamond Dynasty, which again, oh my God, Ultimate Team. But guess what? They're the college football player. They're the college football team of college athletics, while they're paying for the baseball stadium. So you guys have to understand that. That just got completely revamped too. Diamond Dynasty's in its third year. Road to the Show is in its first year. Franchise will get its love. All three modes are on a cycle. This is just the down cycle for the franchise here for this mode.
It's like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Every year something different. Helps them all.
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
So, not opening the can of worms, do we want to talk about online franchise or nah?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. I mean, unlike CFM and stuff in other sports games, online franchise and franchise are completely separate beasts. It's not like Madden, where if they do something in CFM, it's going to affect you online or offline.
Same thing with NBA 2K, by the way. To NBA 2K, when they built My League, they built My League offline and online together.
To be the
same way Madden built franchise, or Madden built their CFM.
CFM, yeah.
Yeah, so Nick said that they weren't discussing online franchise in this stream because this was dedicated to the regular franchise mode. So, I mean, that's the answer we have right now. Hopefully, there will be something in the future. Hopefully, they fixed stuff like stamina, schedules and stuff. But I mean, we just gotta wait and see.
I feel like, given the server issues with 16, maybe going full scale update to online franchise probably wasn't a good idea to begin with.
Yeah.
Again, it all comes down to the mode, what mode people are playing. You know, it's like you cannot sit and compare this game to the way franchises in Madden. You just can't. It's literally apples and oranges. It's no comparison. You know, Madden had so many things going their way with, you know, they had all the servers that were dedicated to NCAA football. That NCAA football does not exist anymore, so they can reuse that, you know, because very few people are still playing online NCAA football dynasties. You know, it's just, you cannot compare one to the other. Would I like to see online franchise be updated? Sure. But honestly, like if you were able to hook them up to a lie detector and say, here is the list of our priorities in the game, unfortunately, online franchise is at the very bottom.
Yeah. And I'm looking at the schedule coming up. Tomorrow we're going to have the Road to the Show Pave Your Path vlog. Thursday is going to be the Road to the Show and Create a Player Deep Dive. After that, all we have is a graphical improvements deep dive the following week. And then a TBD on a developer tournament in AMA. So, I mean, I really wouldn't be looking for anything new out of online franchise. Hopefully they fix the stamina issues that starting pitchers had. Maybe that got fixed with some of this other stamina stuff that they've had with starting pitchers. But yeah, that and changing schedules and stuff would be the two things that would sound like easy wins. But I don't know. We kind of have to wait and see on that.
So,
Right.
Oh, sorry. Mr. CPU Geek says, I do think they should have at least addressed it. Honestly, if you were in their shoes, would you have addressed it? Because literally, as soon as you say that, the rest of the stream doesn't matter because everyone's going to be talking about that you didn't do anything for online franchise.
Right, but also like in all the other streams where, you know, I don't remember what they were talking about last week, but last week if you asked, or before franchise, if you asked a franchise question, they said, we'll talk about it in the franchise stream. This is, they made, every stream they made it very clear that the stream the stream title is what they were there to talk about, not anything else.
But like you said, and like I think it was you said, Nick said it, they were there to talk about franchise. This was not the online franchise stream. It was the franchise stream. Two different things. Again, if it was me personally, I wouldn't address it. Again, you're just railroading your stream by mentioning it. Because if you don't have updates for it, you don't go up there and say, okay, we're not doing anything to online franchise. Now let's talk about critical situations.
And I think the other part of that is, and there are going to be people that are not very happy with what I'm about to say, which I'm fine with. If you act like a human being in an internet chat, you might get a human being answer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That chat, the people that were on that were in that chat that day they didn't want anything. They didn't want online franchise news. They wanted to be problems. So if you come into a chat, and I understand that there's anger over the mode, which is fine. You're allowed to be angry. You're not allowed to be a jerk. And if you come to that chat and act like that, that's what you get. So, and I know the chat is not great every stream, but that chat was. Yeah, there's a difference between the chat being. There's a difference between a chat being rowdy, and there is a difference between a chat being toxic. Yeah. That chat was toxic.
That's why I actually like that.
That was the worst.
That's why I like that Twitch has actually fixed or gone back to the way it used to be, where if you host a channel, the chat room that they're in is your chat room, not the channel's chat room.
Yeah.
So, like, I would highly recommend for a stream like that, go to twitch.tv/Operation Sports, where you know Millennium is gonna be auto hosting it. You're probably gonna find a better chat there.
Yeah.
That I do that for E3. Like, I'll host the PlayStation chat because you can't talk in that PlayStation chat room.
Yeah.
But you can have your own. If you host the channel, you can have a decent conversation in your own channel.
Yeah. The thing is, and again, I did a video on this. I think when the NHL Twitter account was having problems, you know, dealing with trolls and things like that, and the way they handled that situation. Here's the thing: we are very, very lucky that Ramon and Tips and the guys take time out of developing the game, because they're not social media people; they're developers on the game. They are taking time.
Ramon technically is social media. He's the community manager.
Yeah, but he's also a developer on the game.
Yeah.
I mean, they're taking time out of finishing the product to show us the product. Do we get this with any other sports game to the level that Sony San Diego does it? The answer is, well, yeah.
It's yes. It's yes. And this day and age, I mean, I understand where you're going with it. This day and age, yes. Madden does it. FIFA does it on their chat. The only one that doesn't really is NHL at this point. But
they also
NBA doesn't do it either. NBA doesn't do it either.
Okay, so to finish my sentence.
But they also have departments dedicated
No,
to
but
that.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah. But to have the size of team that they do, and to take 3 or 4 or 5, because there's guys behind the camera, out of their day for an hour and 20 minutes to do this for the community is huge. For Madden, it's nobody. That they have a team of guys that are dedicated to this. MLB The Show doesn't have that.
No, this is to Chase and Chad who said it's free marketing. It's absolutely not why they're doing it.
No,
I know people think that it is a marketing tool for some. They're legitimately looking for feedback and stuff like that. Yes, do they get hype out of that? Yes, but don't think for 1 second they need to do that. None of these sports games need to do that.
Yeah. Do they gain sales from doing the streams?
Yes.
Probably. But do they lose them? No. Because what other baseball game are you going to buy? Like, honestly, what other game are you going to buy? I mean, sure, there's other options. There's options on PC.
Yeah, but But then you can do stuff like if Road to the Show comes out and they say there's not really, I mean, obviously there's stuff that's going to change. But if you're a guy that only plays Road to the Show and they come out and say Road to the Show isn't going to change that much, maybe you're just not going to pick up that game.
I mean,
they could do that in vlogs. They can do very easily
exactly
in video vlogs and stuff.
Yes.
The live stream thing, like I said, the live stream thing is something that Madden does and is very well received, and something that the show does, and something that, like I said, FIFA does to their own extent.
Yeah.
Not to the same extent, but they all do it now. And OTP does it. I mean, you know that better than anybody else. You guys are still showing off features and throwing stuff over to OS and stuff like that. Super Mega Baseball, I know streams. Disc Jam had an entire beta where they were streaming.
Yeah.
So all of these games do that, and it's not always just for marketing hype.
No, and that thing is like with MLB The Show, we're getting 6 weeks of pretty much 4 days a week of releases of some kind, streams and vlogs and blogs and videos with, GameStop and IGN. And the thing is, to bring this back around to what we were talking about, like when they see people act the way that they act in these chats, would you want to continue doing that? Like, honestly, it's just like that's what bothers me so much is like we have such a nice thing with the way they handle the lead up to this game, and the people in that chat act like complete and utter words that I cannot say because this is a PG stream, even though it's after midnight where I live. Like it boils my. It drives me nuts that people act like that.
Yeah. All right.
Mole's got a great point, by the way. Mole's got a great point. Anyone that's going to be in a Twitch stream is probably buying the game already.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they even said that in the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they even said in the stream, like, most people that are playing franchise aren't watching the stream.
Right.
So, hey. You want to talk about this next thing? Oh, what do we want to do? We want to talk about this other thing, or do we want to show off the new logo? I'll leave it up to you guys.
What are we talking about? The other thing.
So, there's 2 things we have left to do. I'm going to always defer. It's your show. I'm just a guest. You decide. You do what you want.
It's your show. I'm just here. Let's show off the new logo, and then we'll talk about the thing that people should have known about, but no, they don't listen.
Detroit sports guys got it.
Detroit sports guy knows.
He knows. He's here. Both. They are not one and the same.
I'm just gonna
throw the logo up.
I'm gonna play that little intro video so we can check out the new logo. But also watch your microphone, your headphones, because this might be loud.
Oh, okay.
Fair warning. Thanks. This might be loud.
Rip headphones.
That probably is loud.
I never go to a friend. I honestly, I never go to, like, but those people are already saying that, M-Dot. That's what I'm saying, is that people, hold on, I'll wait for this to go on.
Oh, I can't there it is.
Yeah,
we got that new Bullpen Banter logo. Made by...
Me.
No, I forget his name. Hold on, let me go with my Twitters. My Twitter's
Snaggle
share his
Jay.
name. Definitely not Snaggle Jay. That guy couldn't make a thing out of his something. I don't know.
Easy.
I think it's BT Create. Give me 1 second. I don't want to.
It is BT Create.
Is it BT Create? Thank you.
It is, yeah.
Hit up BT
I'll
Create.
get a Twitter link for him.
Yeah, at BT Create. BTlogo.com. You can go check out some of his stuff there. So we're going to be using that very soon as like the intro stuff. We'll figure out the place to put that, and it'll be showing up on this screen when we switch them up for next year. Oh, I can just wait. Can I just use this as like a transition? Oh, that's fire. Oh, that's hot fire right there. Okay. Yeah. So the next thing we want to talk about here, Millennium. I mean, you hate online franchise, so you can leave if you really want to right now.
I don't hate online franchise.
Oh, he definitely needs to stay till at least the second team.
I heard he.
Are you kidding me that I hate online franchise? I'm the one that's been begging for NHL to come back with GM Connected for years.
He needs to stay at least through the second team, I think. Or is it no, it's a few teams in.
So first off, can we just say, we have been saying for weeks to make sure you get over to the Bullpen Banter Discord. Can I get a exclamation point
On it.
Discord? You can go to thatsportsgamer.com/Discord, I think, maybe. It kicks you straight there. Because we're going to be doing stuff in there. Love the Discord, chatting it up all the time. So one of the things we wanted to do in there was do an online franchise. I think we have, 13 teams?
That is correct.
I mean, if for some reason you still have not signed up for the Discord chat, you can do that. Hit up Snaggle. I think we're going to give a maximum of 3 more spots away, maybe.
Maybe.
If he determines that you're worthy enough, and maybe you just randomly screwed up.
Random team assignments.
Yeah. So let's go through. We had 13 teams initially signed up, so we're going to go through who they all got. So I don't know if you want to go in the Discord actually and tell them to come watch us. Just to.
Yep.
You should probably do that.
One sec.
I mean,
And most of them are here already.
I assume they're all here. So. But yeah. I think we just go. Let's just go. Let's do it live. Are we ready to do it live?
I think we always do the show live, don't we?
Okay. First
Okay,
up,
I'm just
do you want to do this because this is your thing?
Well, no, because I'm watching it on a delay, so I mean, I don't think there's, you can read them.
All right.
It's all typed in nice big font.
Well, I'll say the person's name and then you can just say the team.
Okay, then you have to. Okay, I got my notebook out. I am prepared just in case.
All right. First up, this is in the order of the draft picks, I assume.
This is the order that the teams were selected.
First pick, big weight 1171, decided to go with.
He picked the World Series champion Chicago Cubs.
Beautiful, beautiful selection. I think I can do something fancy to this, I bet. Hold on. Let me get a transition here or something. Got like a circle transition. A zoom. Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, Chicago Cubs. Next up. This is stupid. You got the number 2 pick. Obviously.
I did.
Obviously.
Yeah. I have random.org, man. I can't.
Yeah. Random.dis. Never mind.
Discord. Random.discord.
Hey, to be fair, I did screen cap it just in case, but I may have deleted it since. Anyway,
What's going on, JJ King? Welcome to the chat, dude.
Spoiler.
Picking second, I picked my favorite team in the whole world, the best, the black and orange Baltimore Orioles.
Can't believe you picked the Baltimore Orioles. I have to get my.
I had to. I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something a little different, and I literally hate myself already for having picked that.
All right. Next up, we got.
Dude,
also,
you're gonna
Britain-
get lit up.
Britain-
Your pitching's gonna get lit up.
Yeah.
Britain is starting the first game. I'm starting them the first game.
Do it. That's what I want to hear. All right. Then we got Beingar 11.
Yep. Now Beingar was very adamant that he wanted to end up in a division with either TJ or I, and I didn't give him any hints, but he selected correctly and picked the Boston Red Sox.
Bostonian.
So he will have the privilege of getting thumped by me for multiple seasons.
Interesting. All right. Next up, Mr. CPU Geek.
Mr. CPU Geek picked the 2010, 2012, and 2014 World Series champion San Francisco Giants.
Los Gigantes.
Smart pick.
Yep. First NL West team off the board. So it is balanced. We have 2 teams in every division except for the AL East, which has 3 teams. Just
that
FYI.
was the whole idea. We're trying to be trying to be fair and balanced about this whole situation. Next up,
yours truly,
the handsomest man in the game, that sports gamer.
And he
officially,
there he is.
Officially announcing.
Well, you want to announce your own?
Officially announcing that for my man, is my man in the chat still? He is, for big old 2-4 himself. We're repping the Detroit Tigers and Tom Selleck and my man Miguel Cabrera. I'm pretty excited right now. It's a sweet team.
Yeah, good choice. Big fan.
Me and Detroit sports guy. We're Detroit sports guys right now.
Detroit sports guy actually has the next pick.
Oh, I feel so bad for Detroit sports guy.
He has the next pick.
Dude, I got such a sick rotation. Like,
yeah,
I'm talking like Michael Fulmer.
And you can see Kate Upton in your games.
Oh, first off, is she in the game?
No.
I'm gonna go buy the Sports Illustrated, and then we'll be golden.
All right, let's move on. We have 8 more teams we still have to go through.
Detroit sports guy. I'm assuming he's not the Tigers.
No, Detroit sports guy became the first one to pick a team from the AL West and took the young gun Houston Astros.
Ooh. I was thinking about getting the Astros. That was a tough pick.
Yeah.
They were on my very short list. Next up, True Hennessy. Wow.
True Hennessy
picked like 7 picks after this, actually, right?
Yeah, he only picked a couple picks later. We had some getting in touch issues.
He pulled up Minnesota Vikings,
but he got the team he wanted. The Bronx Bombers, the New York Yankees.
The New York Yankees.
Another guy who's going to get his butt handed to by me.
Interesting.
Yep.
Next up, we got Kring Kong.
Yep. He's going to channel his inner Charlie Sheen, and he picked the Cleveland Redacteds.
This is another team that I was... First off, why'd you use this logo? You couldn't just use the C? That's messed up.
I tried to go through and quickly find ones that had no background, okay? I was on a time deadline.
You know, there is sportslogos.net.
Yeah. They all don't have no background. I didn't want to go through picking backgrounds out.
All right. Well, it could have been a white background. M. Frisk, next up.
Also picking a redacted team, the Atlanta Braves.
You could have taken the tomahawk out, I'm just saying.
Whatever.
All right.
I got it done, didn't I?
Atlanta Braves and their whole gold player.
Yeah. Hey, Frisk is looking for a rebuild. He said he's looking forward to the challenge of rebuilding the Braves.
They could be good. We're going to be using the SDS rosters, so no Albies.
No.
Weak. Next up, the Mole. Is he being the Minnesota Vikings? Oh, so is he the Twins?
No. The Mole,
wow.
He picked the Seattle Mariners.
Interestingly enough, the Mole was given the opportunity. If he did pick the Twins, he could have used the Baggy Dome all year, but chose not to.
I think he's going to use it even with Seattle.
I don't know about that. I might have to throw a something.
Vito?
Yeah. Next up, Uberry Tuber. Why couldn't you capitalize this correctly?
Listen,
the Uberry YouTuber.
Do you know what it means? Just read the darn thing.
Yeah, Ubery. Ubery out Uber. Ubery out Uber. Got it.
Uberry, Utuba.
So Uberry, he thought long and hard about this one. By the time we got down to him, it was starting to get limited by divisions.
Because we didn't want to have any empty divisions.
So hard.
He went strategic, going on something Ramon said on the stream about altitude playing a factor, and picked the Colorado Rockies.
Ooh, interesting. Wait, isn't it the altitude plays a factor everywhere now, not just Colorado?
Yes.
All right, so listen better to Ramon next time. Hazelwood. The H is silent.
Basilwood. He picked the St. Louis Cardinals.
I heard of them. They're good.
They're good.
We're going to have injuries off. Ooh, I do wonder what position Trevor Rosenthal will be in to start the season.
Relief pitcher.
He will be?
Yeah, I'm calling it.
He's starting for them in spring training.
Yeah, but I think that'll be the first roster update once he officially becomes a starter. Like officially. I'm just saying he probably starts as a reliever.
I'm just saying. We'll find out. Hustling Owl.
Last but not least, the Owl picked a NL East team, the Bryce Harper-led Washington Nationals.
Good choice right there. So we got the Owl, we got the Mole, we got the Uberry. We got a lot of people in this league.
We got the Biaz.
Remember, if you're quick, join the Discord channel and get into the, what is it? The franchise.
Franchise, hashtag franchise.
Yeah. And then you can get hooked up. Maybe, if you're one of the first three. And Snaggle J apparently likes you.
Well, don't run there right now, because as soon as this show's over, I'm going to bed. So,
well, hey, got to get those things in. Nobody was the Pirates. So what are we going to do? We're going to do a 29-game season-y thing.
29-game regular season, wild card. We're doing full divisions. We're doing wild card game. We're doing 3-3-5 playoff format. National League will not have a DH, so it's basically replicating real life, other than the 29-game schedule.
So it should be a lot of fun. I'm very much looking forward to it.
So lay your bets down. Lay your bets down over in the Discord. Who you got? Who you think's going to come out victorious? Pro tip. Don't bet on me.
Can we bet against the field? Can we bet like the field against somebody?
Yeah.
If you want to pick a CPU team, I'm more than okay with that.
No. I'm talking about the field. Like
wow.
If I can bet, can I say that Snaggle's not going to win?
Oh,
or
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I think you'll actually lose money on that bet. If you bet $1, you'll get 50 cents back.
It's a good point. I'm willing to put a large sum on it to get some back.
Okay.
There is literally nothing off limits. Just, bet on whatever you want.
Whoa,
But
I've heard Snaggle says that a lot at this time of night.
I think we're going to play All-Star difficulty, the Mole asks.
all I'm saying is that, like, if you want to use Madden as an example, where TJ was the Packers and I was the Bucks, one of us made the playoffs and the other one didn't.
One of us tried to use Play the Moments and got hurt every game.
We'll see what happens in the season 3 press podcast.
Did you pick a team yet, BTW?
What are you talking about?
In the Madden.
I kicked him out.
I don't know what you mean.
I said he's not going to allow it back in.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Hey, can we do something real quick?
Yeah.
This logo is so fire. Just saying. I just want to play it again. Let me look at it again.
Actually, I have a small question for you. Now that we're here, now that we're in a good spot, and we've had a good conversation about franchise and everything, just out of curiosity, what would you do if
He just dipped? All right.
He left, yeah.
Did he dip or did his thing break? That's fine.
No, he left. He bolted out of the Discord.
Oh, that's
he actually pulled that stunt on live air.
Hey, whatever you're going to do. So, you know what that means? He doesn't get to plug anything. Snaggle
He
J,
doesn't get to defend himself with all these Britain jokes. If you guys got Britain jokes, now's the time. Mill's not here. Just go to town.
Yeah, make sure you hit up Zach Britbot in the chat. Also on Twitter. Zach Britbot's out there. You got anything coming up, Snaggle J? I got some important announcements for OOTP stuff coming up.
Yeah, I have. I mean, I'm not really doing anything MLB related. I'm going to be doing a big video stream tomorrow for the Battlefield 1 Premium Pass stuff comes out.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's pretty low key. I am going to be going to Orlando.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to be going to Orlando next week. Actually, I'm going to Orlando next Thursday through Saturday. I'm going to be playing in the Extra Life United charity tournament.
That should be awesome.
So that is going to be absolutely wicked. I'll be vlogging and stuff too while I'm there. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, so this week, I don't know if you watched last week on the Wednesday night Out of the Park stream. In our Braves title by 2020 or bust franchise 2019, somehow we magically won the NL East. Don't ask me how it happened. It took 163 games and a Tyler Austin 14th inning 3-run home run to make it possible. Though this week, again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch with the FHM guys. So we're going to start the stream at 10 p.m. Eastern, just like we started tonight. We're going to finish that thing this week.
Sweet.
So, I mean, if we win the World Series in 2019, we are done. We've gotten our title. Our critical situation is complete. If not, we will play 2020, and then we'll finish that out. The following week, there will be no Wednesday stream. That is because on the 24th, which is the general release, you can go to otpdevelopments.com, get your pre-order in, and get it on Monday. But on Friday is going to be the general release. I'm going to be streaming a whole bunch of OOTP all that day. I'm going to need suggestions on stuff to do, so make sure you get around to hitting me up on that. You can see that on twitch.tv/OOTP developments. Over there, that's good. OOTP Baseball on Twitter. There's something else. I think I'm bringing back Thursday Night Throwdown, which was a stream I did as part of the EA Sports Stream team when Madden launched. So Thursday nights, I think probably from 10 to 12, I'll be playing user games with anybody in the stream. So if you guys want to play something, if you want to play a specific game, you want to play MLB, you want to play Madden, you want to play Disc Jam, hit me up on Twitter @thatsportsgamer, or maybe in the Discord, maybe I'll make a Thursday Night Throwdown room in there, so we can get stuff scheduled. So if you're around Thursday nights and you want to play some games, definitely hit me up.
Are you doing a 12-hour stream when on the 20th?
I don't know if I can do that. I might do like a couple 2-hour streams, like 3 or 4 2-hour streams.
I cannot confirm, but I may or may not be streaming it when it comes out.
I mean, if you're around, we could do something. You can hop on. We can play with some Blue Jays for a little bit.
I think I'm definitely.
Go back, use Tom the Terminator Hanky. Just saying.
I'm definitely going to be doing some streaming of it for sure, without any insider information whatsoever. I can tell you it's going to be lit.
Yeah. Then for the MLB launch, we'll probably just be streaming all day that day.
All day, every day.
All day that day. It's gonna be. We need to sit down and schedule something, Chris, so we can figure that out.
Hey,
I want to whoop your ass. I want to whoop Millennium's ass. I'm gonna whoop Paul's ass. I'm gonna whoop.
Oh my jeez, the gauntlet after dark.
Blueberry. I'm gonna take you all down. Red Sox. You ain't even gonna know it hit you. Who else in here? Who else in? Shakes. Gonna turn that kid into a Frosty. Storms warning. Better watch out. There's a hurricane coming.
Hey, storms warning. Just hit me up and wants in the online franchise, just like that.
Hey! There will be no whooping of anybody's butt. Okay, there will be no whipping of my butt. It's not going to happen. No whooping of my butt.
I muted
because
him.
I'll tell you why. There's one very good reason why you're not going to whoop.
I kicked him.
Yes, got him.
The most double-edged sword ever. But yeah, we're gonna have a lot of stuff coming up.
Once you leave, you can't come back.
Can I put him? Can he come back in
like that?
I don't even know if he knows.
You just can't. You can't pull that foolishness. You can't just jump off and in as you wish. This is a structured show we're trying to run here.
You have to jump off. No, you got kicked. But yeah, a lot of good stuff coming.
Yep,
I'm gonna wax that Millennium.
It's going to be a
wait. I left.
No, you didn't.
No. I left it. There was no getting rid of me there. I might be muted, but there was no getting rid of me. I left. I clicked the button.
Oh,
I know I'm muted again.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Can you?
I can.
I don't know if you can. Oh, there's a server mute. What does that do?
I don't know. What does server mute do? I don't know what you're doing. But I'm telling you, I can hear you.
He's just trying to help.
I don't know what I did. It's a good question.
He's just trying.
You know what I think? I think I hit.
We really shouldn't treat him that way. Like he's an integral part of this whole.
I might have hit kick as he left. It might have been like a tie thing.
Yeah. I wonder how long it'll be before he realizes he's unmuted.
I mean, I assume they can hear. Tie goes to the runner unless you're in rounds 1 or 2 of the World Baseball Classic, because they don't have full instant replay. You have to wait till the next round for that. Ridiculous rules in the World Baseball Classic. If you're not watching that, make sure you get on that. Millennium, you're not talking right now, but I assume we can hear you.
Yeah, no, you're definitely not muted anymore.
Yeah, you weren't muted at all. He might have muted you on his side, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, I know. I can't hear him, which is great.
All right. So we good?
I'm good.
Millennium, you good? Millennium. It's like a
Oh my
user-
God.
Sing that goddamn song.
Can
you
we
good?
just play Can we play Robbie Williams on repeat?
No. Are you good,
No,
Millennium?
it'd be a terrible idea. I'm fine.
Millennium. I'd like to tell you a story. One day I was walking through the woods, and I found a log, and I rolled it over, and under that log was a little stick. You know what I said?
Oh no.
That log had a child. Guys, thank you for watching this week's Bullpen Banter. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Us? Me? Follow me. Forget about these guys. At That Sports Gamer on Twitter, youtube.com/thatsportsgamer for the archives of Bullpen Banter. Chris, where can they find you? Snaggle J. Ooh, got him.
Everywhere.com/SnaggleJ. Just go to snagglej.com. All the links are at the top of the page. Everything you need.
Millennium, where can they find your smiling face? Great dynamite drop in, Donnie.
He left the voice channel.
Yeah.
He's gone.
You can follow him at Millennium OS on Twitter. Follow him on
The last 20
twitch.tv/Operation Sports.
the last 20 minutes of this show have just been a black eye for the community.
Not to be confused with Millennium's black wig that he wears. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. And get out of the game. What am I doing? What? No, get into the game. Get out of the bullpen. Look, it says get into the game right here.